Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Dennis coming from Winnipeg. I hope everybody has a nice weekend, relaxing, rejuvenating. And I hope that you get to do some self care, personal development. One of the things that I've been trying to do lately is trying to read different books. Hey, Gary, trying to read different books to learn about, mindset, etc. And I don't know about you, but I'm one of those that I read very slow. And so after a while, then I get tired and then I put the books down and that's it. I will never go back. So I've been trying different things, different way. And so last a couple of books that I've been trying to read is Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, and also I'm trying to read another book called Lead the Field by Mr. Earl Nightingale. And I'm one of those that I cannot stay in one book, so I will try to read one or two books at the same time, but I will then do half an hour or so of whatever book that I'm reading, and that's how I am. And other people will concentrate reading on one thing. So there's not one way of doing it. This is how I've done it. I do half an hour on one book, and then the next day I may read the second book of half an hour or so type of thing. But like I said, I have difficult time concentrating reading a book. So if any of you have that kind of issue, what do? You can comment me, you can PM me. I'm trying to learn what works for you guys, and I'm trying to steal some ideas also. So for Dr. Joe Dispenza book, I bought the book first. I was reading it, but then I travel a lot, so carrying the book became too much. So I decided to buy electronic version. So I have it on my phone. So whenever I go, I have my phone with it. So I've been trying to read from my phone. And again, it wasn't going well. So I actually last week bought the audio book of Dr. Joe Dispenza about Becoming Supernatural. So now I got a paper printout copy, I got an electronic copy, and now I got audio copy also. And so I'm finding that it's really helpful that reading the electronic copy or paper book copy type of thing, and then listening to audiobook, that actually really bring out the information for me. When I was reading Think and Grow Rich, that was how I had to do it. Initially, I bought the audiobook because I know I can read that fast, so it can take a long time for me to read. So I bought the audiobook, but it was really long. It's I think 9 hours something, and I actually went through the audiobook 3 times because I wasn't getting it. And after 3 times, I got so frustrated. Hi, Bruce. So frustrated that I wasn't getting the information and sticking in my head. So I went and bought the printed version. And because I listened to the audiobook 3 times, when I read the printing version, I didn't even have to read half of the book. All the information all of a sudden jumped out at me because I've listened to the audiobook 3 times. So I was so happy. So this is how I'm trying to learn myself, is that I have to read it first and then, hi Christopher, or do the audiobook after. And with Dr. Joe Dispenza book, that's what I've done, is I've read about 3 or 4 chapters of it and I got frustrated, I'm not getting it. So I bought the audiobook, and last week, with a couple of times listening to a couple of chapters of audiobook, I'm telling my wife, because we both read it, and when I was driving, I played the audiobook and we both listened to it, and we both looked at each other and said, hey, this is what he's saying. So for me, I'm finding it that I have to read it, and I have to, hi Teresa, I have to then listen to audiobook and somehow they put it together. So I don't know what works for you guys. Please share the information how you learn these, self-improvement book and stuff. Can you just read it? Do you go audiobook? Or are you like me that have to read it and at the same, later on has to listen in audiobook also to get the information out of my head? I'm maybe one of the unique person that need to do, visual reading and audio book also. So I hope that they give you some ideas if you're having some issue reading or listening to audiobook or whatever for all these self-improvement book. Maybe you might want to read it and you might want to listen to audiobook or listen to audiobook and then read it, and that may help. I hope you have a great weekend and you are ready for the brand new week to start. I'm looking forward to this brand new week. Have a great evening.